the most powerful part and reserve of our mind, makes up 99% of our conscious brain power. And our thinking mind, our ego, only makes up about 1%. The subconscious mind records just about everything you experience. In every second, 150 million bits of information are being stored. In the conscious mind, the thinking part of your brain, only about 150 different bits of information can be taken in. So what does that mean? That means when you're trapped in your head and you're unable to come up with creative solutions and you're just spinning your wheels, thinking, and you can never get present to the moment, you are far from living up to your full potential. All of the best minds, all of the best performers in every field, from Einstein to Kobe Bryant, rest his soul. In every field, the best humans tap into what is known as a flow state. This is when they're in tune with the 99% of their subconscious and they're not thinking. Like right now, no thoughts are going through my brain. I'm just constantly in the moment, focusing on trying to deliver the best content for you. The flow state is something pretty magical because it's a lot similar to a dream state. When you're in a flow state, things just happen naturally. It's almost like they're happening in and of themselves. Very similar to a dream state. And when you're in it, it does feel like a dream state. It's crazy how much they have in common. Amazing things start to just happen on their own. Like you'll just say the perfect thing at the perfect time. Or you'll come up with new creative ideas that you can use for business, or for work, or in your personal life, just to make things more fun. When you're in the flow state, time is no longer relevant. You're so lost in the moment that the only thing that exists is the now. You can keep continually coming up with new creative ideas because you have access to everything in your mind. Absolutely everything. Your entire life is recorded in your subconscious. We're just so limited when we get stuck in our conscious mind because we don't have access to the billions and billions of connections stored in our brains. Our brains are so much more powerful than we could ever know because it's just that. You can't feel the power and embody that power if you're thinking. And while it may sound like thinking, it may sound like I'm speaking about it as it's a bad thing. It's actually not. Your conscious mind is insanely useful and necessary for your survival. If you couldn't focus in on what specifically mattered, let's say you're in a dangerous situation. There's a tiger chasing after you, and it wants to eat you. It's a pretty hungry tiger, and it's got a look on his face like it's not gonna just come cuddle you. Well, if your subconscious mind was to be the only thing operating, you would have to process everything in your experience, like the firmness of the ground, the sound of the birds around you, the smell of the flowers, the colors of the jungle. Well, that information, not so useful when you're being chased by a tiger. Not very useful. And that's why we have our conscious thinking mind, because that's when it can take over and say, oh my God, there's a tiger chasing me. I need to run. Holy shit, let's get out of here. And that's what's actually going to help you survive. So it's not all bad. And while it may seem that way, it serves its purpose. The only thing is now we don't live in the jungle anymore. At least most of us do. I doubt if you're watching this video, you actually live in the jungle. You probably live in a city, working a job, and you've never seen a tiger in your life. Well, for most of us in those circumstances, our thinking mind tends to take up a lot more mental bandwidth than it deserves. This is why so many of us are bogged down by things like anxiety and depression. Why when something triggers us and gets us angry, we can't stop but loop about how this person wronged us or how this situation went and you wish it hadn't. And it drains you. You're left feeling so tired in the middle of the day. And you resort to things like coffee and unhealthy foods that give you a little kick at first, but actually even take more of your energy. And then it just goes into this downward spiral where, again, at the end of the day, you're left drained. You have no energy to do things that you love, like creating. Like something that I love is content creation. But after a long day of work, I am not motivated to just express what's on my mind and allow my ideas to flow, because I've just had so much drained out of me. That's also a big part of the reason why I've just decided to quit my job and pursue being a life coach. More specifically, an energetic expansion coach. The reason I chose to do this, wow, got a lot of criticism from my mom. She was not happy at all, is because I recognize that in the moments when I'm coaching, I reach that same flow state I was talking about. And in that flow state, I get so lost in the moment, it feels like I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And I have no regrets. I don't feel drained. In fact, doing the work of coaching gives me more energy because I know I'm truly helping people. And that is very inspiring for my own purpose. That's also why I know I'm going to be successful. I have the tools, I have the skills. Now it's just a matter of networking and putting myself out there and finding the right people who I can really benefit. I had a moment where I looked at myself very, very closely in the mirror. And I told myself, this is the moment where I commit to servicing the world. Money is temporary. That's not the goal of